As many of you on the channel know, we raced the Losi NASCAR heavily last year. We did a ton of work and we had a subpar car. I can tell you that the 2025 version of mine and about 5 other I have seen in the wild are all very, very comparable, good running cars. So if you ever wanted to get one of these cars and give racing another shot, now would be your chance. I'm Chad, this is the Dorky and 40 RC channel. Let's go over all some results and just talk about the 2025 version so far. So we've been running this about 3 months, a lot. We've done a lot of club racing. We've been at some smaller tracks, our little track at Mansfield, a smaller, faster track actually at Louisville RC Speedway up by like Akron, Canton area in Ohio. I've also ran it the past weekend at the big track. We're getting ready for the Firecracker Classic at Norcar RC Raceway, WTRC Hobby. I'm actually not going to be running the Losi in this just because after seeing the results of the Losi on Saturday, it is still about 2 to 3 tenths off per lap what the best car there can do. And I know that there are going to be guys there that are probably faster. It really just comes down to that and the fact that I am running 2 other pan car classes, and with a 3-foot pit table and all the craziness and stuff that's going on and all the work that I need to put into the pan cars to keep them running, to be a contender, it's just going to be too much and it's not worth it. So we're going to put this baby back on the shelf and save it, for club racing. Maybe go outside and try it on some dirt. A lot of guys have been running it on the local dirt track here and having a freaking blast. Now, the great thing about this car is that, of course, everything is held up. We talked about some of the issues that we had out of the box with like a couple wobbly wheels, a misplaced bearing. I'll put a link to that video up here. You can take a look at that. But other than that, everything has been just super great. I've seen a couple good Logano's and a couple of the other ones. I think it's Chase Elliott's that I've seen. And pretty much everybody runs them box stock. Like, everybody's still on the box stock kick. I don't know what it's going to take. The numbers are definitely down on these cars. So I don't know if it's just the overall quality or everything else, but hopefully as like fall and wintertime sets in and people are looking for things to do, at least I feel safe now, like recommending that people can buy these cars. And they're all going to be very, very competitive about each other. So, we've done stuff like trying some different motors, playing around with shocks and everything else. And quite honestly, it just comes down to like putting in laps with these things. If your track allows you to do different things with the car, then I would definitely take advantage of them. For instance, if you're doing oval and they allow you to do a heat sink, if they don't allow you to add weight to the opposite side, you don't want to do that. You want to try to get the cross weight on these around 50-50 as much as you can. You really don't want to like crank down on opposite corners or crank up on opposite corners. It really makes the car like not come out of the turns as good as it does if everything is just kind of flat, or if you have just a slight rake from front to back. So you can see that, the suspension on here, I did play around with oils and stuff quite a bit. And you can see that I've got a little bit of slower dampening here in the front. So I've got super light oil, like 20 weight in these sides. And I actually have 5K in the left side, which seems total opposite of what you would think that you would want to do for oval. But really it just kind of works because these wheels just have to stay on the ground as much as possible. You can't go full pin the entire time. Like you have to like let on and off, and the car will get around the corner. You just have to let it start its corner and then roll back onto the throttle. And then if you have certain spots in the track, this is the interesting thing with the Losi that we saw up at Norcar this weekend, is that if you have like a sticky part of the track, or, you know, on your ice where you can kind of like launch your car as you're coming out of the corner. One of the really good drivers was doing that, and he did it almost on every lap, almost on every corner. And he literally admitted that that is how he is getting extra time. It's not that he has like, he does have a good motor. He's put a lot of like time and effort into finding a good one. You know, they're $15. So, you know, compared to like paying $85 for like these USGT oval motors, you can experiment quite a lot with this if you really want to take advantage of it. The other thing too is, just doing things as you can to just kind of like, I guess, cheat the system, which is like running two transponders, you know, like up here in the front to try to keep this down any way that you can get weight up here. So I've got like a piece of Lexan with a lot of shoe goo underneath there for added weight, whatever, and the Lexan, and then the biggest transponder that I have, and then I usually have my second club transponder on there, and then I will take all of these cables and like move these over and kind of like just wrap them all up to make sure that they're on this side. I leave the fan in there. I leave it unplugged. The Beck that's built into the ESC just doesn't pull on it. It's just not powerful enough to run any fan efficiently. So, you know, it's kind of where it's at, but this thing gets out of the corners really good. You know, you could see again, just the dampening rate, like, you know, the difference between like the front, the left, and everything else, just kind of how much stiffer the whole left is compared to the right. And it works really, really well. Now for cheat codes, I've heard some people are doing things like stretching and heating like the upper A arms here to kind of get like some negative camber to help it turn. It's kind of up to you if you wanted to mess with that stuff. I mean, it definitely works. If you take a look at my rubber tire car here, for my pan car, I mean, you can see how much negative camber I have built into it, 2.5 degrees on each side. And I mean, on my foam tire pan car, like we cut camber into the fronts, and then of course we add a little bit more in to get it to, again, to turn and carve around the corners. So we'll take a look at some race footage here. I've been back and forth between like first and second, depending upon like who shows up. Last week, there's a car, and for some reason, the racer isn't going to race it at the big race. So it kind of makes me wonder if he's got something going on because he doesn't want it to be teched, because it's a very fast car. But I'm not going to say anything. You know, the only thing that we tech at the local races that they've actually teched has been just battery voltage a couple times. So, you know, people are obviously doing a little bit of cheat mode and stuff like that. So did I say that? Well, you can watch the video and kind of judge for yourself. But if you drive these cars really well, last week I drove the car probably about as best as I ever drove, and I was able to definitely stay competitive with this car. I didn't record it, but I made a couple driving errors. And when you're up against either a unicorn car or a car that might have some slight modifications, you know, you're kind of at the will of what happens. So I'll play that race for you guys. You guys can take a look at it yourself. But yeah, I definitely recommend that, you know, if you ever were worried about the Losi NASCAR and the quality, and you really wanted to give, you know, oval racing and stuff another shot, I would definitely recommend this. So enjoy the race footage here, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
That was smoother than last round. Yeah, those radions were ugly. side of what Big Mike does through the turn. That's probably the difference. Big Mike took that as a challenge and he's going to, well, he was going to the ice.
1 minute left.
Andy Schrader, I enjoy Logano down the front street.
3 minutes 20 seconds. The top drivers are Mike Mahanish, Chad Servinski, and Ross Greer.
Less than 30 to go. Big Mike on a 59.402. Chad hanging on to that second place by 1.3 on Ross. High sits 4. He's up 2 positions to 4th. 10 seconds.
Inside, Mark.